Probably number one is burning sugar.
Uh-huh.
You may sound, that may sound kind of dumb. You go, wait a minute, we live on sugar. No, actually, reality or the best function of the metabolism is to burn 60% of your carbohydrates from fat and only about 40% from sugar. And that 40%, most of that, like half of that, is going to be your brain. And so you really, in your body, you're all actually burning only a little bit of sugar. And so your whole body burns as much sugar as your brain. And that is kind of an ideal situation. When people have insulin resistance, then they have more inflammation, partly because they're making more oxygen-free radicals. And those oxygen-free radicals come because sugar, glucose, is a high-octane fuel. It makes a lot of oxygen-free radicals. Fat is a relatively low-octane fuel. So now if you're burning 60% glucose and 40% fat, that means most of your body is running on sugar, and all over now you're making a lot of oxygen-free radicals and getting a lot of inflammation. So people with type 2 diabetes, but even before you have type 2, you can have heart disease from inflammation because you have insulin resistance, and your blood sugar is perfectly normal, but you're still burning 60% fat and 40% glucose, or 80% fat and 20% glucose, fat. 80% glucose and 20% fat. So that excess glucose is another source of inflammation, and that's probably the major one. The second most common one would be the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. Omega-6 fatty acids are the ones that promote inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids suppress inflammation, and the average American has like 7 times to 14 times more omega-6 than omega-3. And that's why it's often recommended to take fish oil. Fish oil is omega-3 to get that up. And so an optimum level is somewhere around 2 to 1 is optimal. Two times more omega-6 than omega-3. So twice as much omega-6 as omega-3 is kind of an optimum. But it's really hard because all of the oils have omega-6 and only a few of them have omega-3. You get chia seeds, flax seeds, fish. And that's pretty much all you're going to get omega-3. People go walnuts. Well, guess what? Walnuts have 6 times more omega-6 than omega-3. So yes, they have omega-3, but they got a lot more omega-6. So that doesn't help you at all. It's the same with like canola oil, which has some omega-3. And so you have to be kind of careful with the oils. Another one was like sunflower oil, has practically all omega-6 and no omega-3. Cottonseed oil has a lot of omega-6 and no omega-3. So, these vegetable oils that we're using have a lot of omega-6 and very little omega-3, if any at all. Some of them, like cottonseed oil, none at all.
What about avocado oil, olive oil, some of the other common kitchen oil?
That's a great question. So 3, avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil. Okay, so these are like common things we might have in the kitchen and use all the time. None of them have significant amounts of omega-3. They're really omega-9 oils, but they do have some omega-6 and omega-3, but it's a very small amount. So if you look at like avocado oil and olive oil, you have 16 times more omega-6 than omega-3. So it doesn't give you a good ratio to do that, and it's fine because there's very little of it. So you can push up that ratio with like 1 fish oil capsule, and you're gonna be way more omega-3 than omega-6 just because there's very little of it.